Hi everyone. You might recognise my voice from the other side of the camera because I'm not normally in the videos. Normally I'm the one recording them. But I felt that it was time I did something for myself as well. So anyway, hi everyone, Emma here, and I'm hoping that you guys can help me out. 12 years ago I was a single person with no dependents or major commitments that held me back, other than working 2 part-time jobs to make the money I needed for a social life with my friends. I did things that included going to pubs, clubs, cinema, the usual stuff that young people do, as well as wearing size 10 to 12 clothes. Now I know that I have my 2 wonderful sons who I would never ever trade or change, and I cannot go back to that scenario. But what I can do is return to my size 10 to 12 clothes and become a fitter, healthier, happier me. That's where you guys come in. Hold me accountable to my weight loss goals, and I will do the same for anyone else who would like to jump on board. Anyone else who would like to come along with me on my weight loss journey, and let's smash our weight loss goals this year. Okay, so I would like to tell you all my story, see if it could maybe motivate others to tell me theirs in return. Okay, well, I've always been small. I've always been about 5 foot, 5'1", and about 12 years ago probably I was 9 stone, which meant I was average for my height. My BMI was average. Didn't really need to lose any unless I really wanted to. I wanted to, but it never happened. Just wasn't motivated enough. In 2007, yes, 2007, I became pregnant with my first son, Cameron. Over the pregnancy, because it was pretty much complication free, the only health conditions I had was irritable bowel syndrome, which I'd suffered with most of my life. It meant I felt like I could eat for 2, so that's what I did. I ate for 2. I put on about 2 stone in weight probably. So I went from being 9 stone and within my BMI to 11 stone and out with my BMI. But when Cameron was born, I lost a stone and I went down to 10. So at that point I was just classed as slightly above, which was fine. I was like, okay, fair enough, I can lose that weight easily. But I didn't lose it. For 6 years after Cameron was born, I was admitted to hospital about 2 or 3 times a year with intense stomach pains, being sick, and the opposite. A bit embarrassing to say, but hey, it happens to us all. They just kept putting it down to IBS and fobbing me off. I knew it wasn't IBS, so every time it happened, I just went back in. And then there was one day that I went to McDonald's with my friends Stacey and Donna and Cameron, who was 6 at the time, and I had a Big Mac. I ate the whole thing, and then within 10 minutes ended up in toilet in Asda Govan being really sick, and then had to get rushed home in a taxi to Stacey and Donna's, where I continued being very sick. Then I was rushed home in a taxi to my house, which was all the way across Ayrshire. And when I got home, was in so much pain, was burning up, was being sick, was the opposite, was crying, screaming. So the next day I was still feeling that way, and I kind of realised there was something really wrong. So Mum took me to Crosshouse. The doctor poked me in the stomach, in the gallbladder area, and I just about fell off my chair in pain and started crying, and he said, well, there's definitely something not right here. So he sent me over to the ward for stomach issues, can't remember what it's called, If you know, then comment, let me know. It turned out I had cholecystitis, which is an infection of the gallbladder. Basically your gallbladder fills up with stones, and then one of the stones gets infected. You get very sick. It can kill you if it doesn't get treated. It doesn't normally kill, but it can do. Luckily for me it didn't kill me, but it did however mean that I ended up staying in hospital for 12 days, and because of the amount of being sick I ended up with a collapsed lung as well, and had trouble breathing. It was a bit of a scary time. 10 weeks later I had an operation called a cholecystectomy, can't say it very well. It was keyhole, so the recovery was pretty quick. I was out the hospital the next day, but from there on I just continued putting on weight and putting on weight. 6 months later, found out I was pregnant with Patrick, my second and final child. Woo! Through that pregnancy, ended up losing about 1.5 stone, maybe 2 stone in weight, because I developed a condition called bile acid malabsorption, which is hardly known about. I'll do another video about that at some point in the future. When Patrick was born, I started slowly but surely putting the weight back on until I was at my heaviest weight of 14 stone. Da, da, da. And here I am today, a pound or 2 over 14 stone, and very, very unhappy with the way I look, feel and think, and in desperate need of drastic action. Okay, the point of this video is that over the last 12 years I've been allowing myself to get fatter and fatter, and my health to deteriorate. I've been using my health and circumstances as an excuse to remain unhappy with myself. Well, that will be no longer. I am Emma McVicker from the Macbutcher family, and as of today, Saturday the 6th of July, I am just over 14 stone in weight. I am going to take control and lose weight. Who's with me? It's